Good evening, people out there in the World Wide Web. Welcome, foolish humans, to the Warrior Workshop. Hi, I am your host, Flintworth, and welcome to the program, the brainstorming session of madness that I call the Warrior Workshop. Basically, if it's your first time here, whether it's live or watching this after the fact, after I broadcast all this, the Warrior Workshop is a show that I run where I go and hang out with my viewers. We go and brainstorm all kinds of player characters for, well, mainly D&D, but I'm trying to work in other tabletop RPGs into the, mix. And today, I'm happy, so happy to be taking the plunge, more than ever this time, into the animated world of, Chainsaw Man. Love this anime. We're going to be talking about the one and only Power, who, for those ever seen the show, is a fiend. I almost forgot the name of it for a hot second. That would be really embarrassing. Yes, this woman, this lady, is in fact a hellish spawn from the Seven Rings? Yeah, the Seven Rings of Heck. And yeah, what makes her kind of special for my channel is that for a while now, for a long time, I've wanted to go and, explore more of the anime world, or I should say the genre, not really the world, the genre, for, different ways, different characters that can help inspire not just, a GM's creativity, but a player's. Because in my experience, having DM'd a variety of games over the last handful of years, and maybe those who've done this for a lot longer than I can, confirm this whether or not, and that would be that when it comes to players getting into this hobby for the very first time, more often than not, they tend to go and create characters based on the heroes, the somewhere betweens, like Power here, to make their first characters. And with Chainsaw Man, the anime, being such a major hit this last year, I thought, let's go and give my 2 cents and how someone maybe looking to get into D&D, having just, gotten really hyped up from the insanity that is the works of the Chainsaw, that, be kind of fun to show you how you can play as her, or maybe someone like her, but more on that in a second. I do see we have a few, actually, a few comments coming in already. Hi, N King. Glad you did. Good morning. Glad you woke up from your nap. Just be ready for this, man. I have to know, do you normally, do you work, second shift, third shift? That's right. I think you had a bad sleep schedule. I can relate. I think I have slept so little this week, so, yeah. I've been pretty much thriving entirely on caffeine. Yay! But, glad to see, though, that you have some experience with the Chainsaw Man, the show. But for those who don't, have never seen any of the episodes or not even heard about the show Chainsaw Man to begin with, I'll do my best here to keep it simple. But allow me to give you a quick crash course on what this whole show is about. Now, to simplify it, I would say overall, it's a dark fantasy. It is meant to be a modern-day dark fantasy about a group of, think like X-File-esque, secret agents hunting down and squashing demon kind in the human world. Yes, this is a world where demons do in fact exist. About demons and more so devils. But more appropriately, what you should know is that while yes, they do exist and are pretty much a threat, their power levels are very much based on, humanity's fear of that thing. So, for instance, let's say there probably is a fear of ducks. There actually might be a duck devil who would not be, that kind of terrifying? Compare that to, I don't know, a leeches, not leeches, no, better. We'll say, bleh, guns. Well, the guns are a terrifying thing in a world today. So yeah, there's a devil there's a gun devil, and yeah, he be powerful. He used to take out like an entire city district. We're talking like full on, almost Dragon Ball Z level of destruction. But power, she happens to be a blood devil. But not just any kind of blood devil. She happens to be what this world's called a fiend. Basically, she's a devil that has inhabited a human body. To be specific, she's not like she's like possessing something. She basically found a dead body and has basically moved in. So it's been Sans soul. There's no one to argue with. Like, the body wasn't being used in the first place. So she has gone in and now has this kind of semi-life in the real world. And to put it simply, she is a hero in the sense that she is a very, very chaotic good. I would say, mind you, I am not going to go into too far ahead in the story with today's workshop. Ideally, we're going to be looking at what just the anime covers. So that's just season 1, which is barely a drop in the bucket in the latest storyline in the manga, which is actually a few arcs ahead. So we're just covering just that area because, oh boy, there are a good number of spoilers. I could go and just ruin everyone today. I'm not going to do that. And let's see what you got there for me. And King, careful when you explain that. There we go. I can see all my chat now. I can. Yay. It's a little two-dimensional. Ha ha ha. Chainsaw Man is, yes, I agree, begging to be an RPG setting. You even get to walk around with weapons and loot. Exactly. It's one of those few cases that, because I wanted to start with this show, start talking a bit more about how you can not just play D&D, but the different systems. But I could totally see you doing a chainsaw campaign setting in a D&D game. But yes, you can have to go and maybe bump it up a little bit to modern day kind of stuff there. But it's wild. It is filled, with all kinds of variety of, I guess, the rules of Chainsaw Man could easily be reapplied to what you would see in a D&D game. Like, for instance, you can make contracts with devils to gain power, much like a warlock would in D&D. You can, with power here, which, spoiler alert to later on, you can go and be a part devil-human hybrid thing, much like a tiefling would with their bloodlines being tied into devils of Dungeons and Dragons lore. And I can go on. There's just so much to it, and Power being one of my favorite characters from that, that'd be kind of fun to talk about her today. So that's the brief run of it. I probably will get into more on how the world works, or the show works, as we go into building this character in our own game. So, which means it's time to get us to Roll20. Yes, this is your first time checking me out. I use Roll20 for pretty much all of my virtual tabletop needs. Not because they sponsor me, which they probably should at this point, considering how much I talk about them, but mainly because I've probably spent the most money on their site, and I am too poor of an artist to go and move everything elsewhere. Maybe someday. Anyway, where is my workshop? Gotta go and sign out to the... Pardon me, I was on the wrong account on Roll20. Let's see, I think it's this one. Come on. Oh, there we go. Beauty, got it. Well, while I'm bringing everything up, I am going to go and give you a quick lowdown of a few ground rules of how I run this show. Rule number uno. I try to go and make it so that anyone can go and just basically make this character just go with it. So we're looking at designing something that isn't too, I don't want to say perfect, but more so you don't need to go and get a lot of like extra books. Now, granted, I do have a lot of extra books with me because I've been into this hobby for the last 5 years and I've got a decent collection. But ideally, we want to make it so people, when they play this, or try to play this character, that you don't need this stuff. This is like basically the sprinkles and chocolate syrup to the sundae we're trying to make for people here. Secondly, on that same note, homebrewing. We're trying to do as very little homebrewing as possible, which is why I am not going to suggest we go and take advantage of the very famous and frankly very cool. I've actually seen people play it, and it's kind of fun. But what are they called? It's not Bloodbenders, but it's the special class made by Mad Mercer. Let's see. I should know this. Blood Hunter. That's what it is. Basically, they use blood to cast their variety of spells. Now, if you know anything about power, she, being the devil for blood, is able to do just that. She's able to control her own blood to form all kinds of weapons. Now, we can still have that happen, but it's just going to be a matter of, how you work with your descriptions when it comes to playing with this character. Thank you. Yeah. I got to admit, thank you, Unkinker, let me know, reminding me. Frankly, I wish the delay wasn't so delay-y, because that would be kind of nice for you all to, be able to just, chime in right away. How you going? I see a little bit of bleed over there. Let me go and just tidy that oop real quick. Nope. Get the wrong thing. I tried rearranging my windows earlier. I'm kind of liking it. It gives me more screen space, which is very much needed. Let's just go. Oh, too much. There we go. Good enough. So I'll cut that off. How does the close-up range look? Just about samey. Anyway, so we're trying to avoid homebrew as best we can. Thirdly, I usually like to build our characters up to level 5 because normally, when the past times I've done broadcasts, I have always been the proponent of, the build doesn't really come into being until you get to level 5, because that's where they give a lot of the fun stuff. But in this case, I want to talk a bit more about how to role play. So we're going to, the third rule is going forward is going to be to not ignore the role-playing potentials of a power character, or a character like power. But either way, the thing I kind of like, though, before we even get started on all this, is the reality that we kind of made a character like this, but as a straight villain. Because one of my favorite analogies of the show thus far, is the fact that the main, some of the main protagonists, in this case, Power alongside Denji, who is the main character of the whole series, he is the title character Chainsaw Man, and he is a utter dork of a man. But what I love about this lovable idiot is the sheer fact that prior to the main events of this whole story, this guy didn't really have much to live for. We meet him, sans one eye, one kidney, one nut, a lot of blood, and even donated his sperm in some places to make ends meet because he basically took up all of the debt of his father and had to go pay it back to the Yakuza. Like, he has had, like, no future whatsoever. He then goes and gains the powers of the Chainsaw Devil and changes his whole life around. He gets to join up with the same organization that's taken the power to go and hunt devils. But it's really, like, despite all the power and the fighting and just the fun little magic mechanics, it's really, to me, about a story about discovering your humanity, about finding more than just your base instincts. It's cool. It's a very wonderful character study with a lot of style and finesse to it. But I say all this to point out that what makes the pair of these two characters so wonderful is that both Denji and Power, because they're kind of like discovering the humanity as the story goes on, they're kind of like a cat and dog, with Power being the cat and Denji a dog, and just a lot of things they do, which is perfect because Power owns a cat named Meowie. So they're going to keep that in mind as we go and build this whole thing up today. That, much like we made Michael Myers, or Michael Meowers, ages ago, we are now going to be making a cat devil. In fact, you know what? I'm going to lean into that. Because while we can't go and just make our power race, man, there is so much phrasing that you came into this out of context. You have no idea what the crap I'm talking about. It sounds like some kind of, oh God, fascist nut job trying to promote something else, which I'm not. I don't like to do politics on here, but I'll tell you that. I do not go and follow anything that any skinheads promote. God, no. No, man. Anyway, where I was going with this. Yes. So, the ability of Power, I don't want to go and just take the low-hanging fruit and to say, oh, she's a cat, so let's go use a tabaxi thing. No, it has to be... I forgot the word. Come to me. Hang on. Don't tell me. Tiefling. It has to be a tiefling. Why? Because tieflings are a race in D&D that have descended from devils. I just had to watch that. Yeah. What was I going to say? So let's see here. Okay, we gotta think of a name, though. Name. I'm gonna go with my mom's favorite science word. Just do torque. We're gonna make the lovely torque fiend. No, let's see. What should we can focus on what kind of, like, possible devil they came from later on, but I just want to get some name to get us started. All right. Power Meower? Maybe. I like that, though. You should save that. Use it in your own games. All right, I'm going to use a nice little character mancer here. Now, it's worth repeating that when making any kind of character, it's nice to go and have, like, this whole nice little character master thing on Roll20. Don't be afraid to go to the whole classic paper and pencil. It's just about filling out your own sheet for the first time. It's nice. It's fun. Hey, it's Reg! Hey, how you doing? Oh. Always happy to see the regulars start coming in. Like, yeah, I still can't get around that. They actually have, like, regular viewers now. Granted, there's not many of you. That's fine. More will come, and until then, I have to say I just cherish hanging out with you two, and even A when he comes in, and Fishy. Gosh, there's been a few I haven't seen in a while, but I still appreciate your company nonetheless. Where was I? Okay, so race. Now let's see. Tiefling. There we go. Nice thing about Tiefling is that they are one of the standard in the player's handbook races. Now, if you do have the money or the resources, one of the things I was going to suggest checking out, if you want a little bit more, play around a little bit, that going with the Hexblood race, which I'm not sure if I have it on Roll20, but I do have the book here from Von Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Yeah, Hexblades are basically a race that are essentially descended from witches. And while that is not in the same level as the devil connection we kind of want with our Torque character, it's the style of how they attack, how they do things might be a bit more to what you kind of want in creating the various devil or fiend powers from Chainsaw Man, which... Gosh, there's so many different kinds. But Tiefling I think is definitely be the one I would say. If you just have access to the player's handbook, is the way to go. Alignment. This is tough because when you first meet Power, so we could see we'd be surprised if our Torque here be in the same boat. Very much just leave it from themselves. Living on whims, murdering left and right just because, blood. Ability. Let's see, it is pretty much a pure barbarian. He has rages per day. That's a good point. Yeah, if Denji was a class, he would be straight up a barbarian. Oh, I might have to do him next. I was thinking of bringing out Eeyore from Spy Family, but... You might be doing Denji next because I wanted to build a Denji barbarian because that sounds fun. Oh, and King, you put all these ideas in my head. That also is very, saying that anyone here, live or what have you, have suggestions for future workshops, but please let me know in the comments below because, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more workshops this year, and I'd love to, take suggestions. Anyway, alignments. Yeah, when you're playing a character based on power, this is more of like a suggestion than a hard set rule. And, kind of, what are we doing? Okay. Today, Bragg, we are making a character based on the Blood Fiend from Chainsaw Man by the name of Power. She is... Let me go and grab a photo of her. Where are you? Let's go back one. There she is. She is one of the main ladies of season 1 of Chainsaw Man. I have read ahead in the wiki, but I'm not going to go and... We're just covering just her from season 1 and her kind of rise from being just a selfish fiend to kind of their own hero in her own right. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I keep losing track of my train of thought because I keep geeking out about the show. But yes, Power here is, simply put, Rag, a tiefling at her core. But she has a variety of powers ranging from, quick healing to being able to control her blood to form weapons, which is kind of cool. But let's see here. Back to the actual making the character. Usually humanoid, medium, yep. All the stuff is kind of like standard. Yeah, a warlock would think like a hexblade warlock, probably. That kind of work. Gosh, I forgot how many different tieflings they are. Mainly because that's right. I have Mordekainen's Tome of Foes because to this account. As much as I want to go through and choose the perfect tiefling, let's go with the standard one for the sake of time. God, intelligence is 1. Maybe let's go through and choose one of the different. Are they all charisma? Dexterity, charisma. That could be kind of good. Based this entirely on ability score increase at this point. That's probably more like power right there, charisma and constitution. Because, yeah, Power is not a smart gal. Pact of the Chain works. I'm looking at that too. Let's see. Let's see if Steiga. We have Foss cantrip. Nah. Minor Earnage. No. No, the Friends cantrip. Thaumaturgy. That could kind of work. Charisma and Strength. Yep, that's. Let's go with that. Reach third level, you can use the Searing Smite spell, yes, and some level spell. There you go. So you can cast the Branding Smite spell once. Yeah. Okay, take that back. If you manage to have Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, use this loadout because this is probably more like a power like build with Avernus. Isn't that like one of the biggest devils? I want to say so. Avernus. Yeah, that was the first layer of Nine Hells of Bator. The most likely beach head for any attack by the demon kind. Avernus. Okay, so yeah. So basically, it's not actually a person, it's a place. Well, you know, I should know this. I have that book on my shelf. But yeah, Avernus is about as close as you can get to hell for a tiefling descendancy. Perfect. Love it. Moving on. Boop. Choose a class. I think I already love what you're all saying about warlocks, so let's go with that right away. And get with the proficiencies and what have you. Now, one thing I want to bring up, meant to do so earlier, is that, yeah, yes, Avernus is the book that gives you Mortal Cycles, basically gives you Mad Maxian rules to do full, like, you know, war machines and stuff like that. That's one of my dream scenarios I want to run one of these days. I have the module in the other room. But, I was going to say, whenever it comes to making any kind of characters based on something else, and you're worried about it not getting approved, just talk to your DMs first. You know, I wouldn't be surprised that, because this is me, I can't speak for every GM out there, but if you take the time to talk to us beforehand, you most likely will have a better chance in getting to play the character you want to play as. Or at the very least, we'll be able to help you either translate the powers or traits of the characters inspiring you into our world to match the lore, as well as kind of like balance things around. Because one thing you always remember when you're basing any kind of character on an anime hero, or waifu if you prefer the term, is that they often are pretty damn powerful to begin with. And the whole point of playing D&D, or any kind of tabletop RPG, is to experience your character's growth both internally and physically. So while you not be able to go and do some really cool shit off the bat, you'll get to have the joy of watching your character grow into someone that could maybe stand side by side with your original inspiration. Does that make sense? So yeah, basically talk with your DM, work with them, and be ready to make mistakes from the get-go. So, quick aside. Boop. All right. Yeah. Yes, N King. It is totally the book that gives us Ghost Rider. I don't know. Do you have a Mad Max Creature Creator? Not yet. I've only been doing my Creature Creator series, which is my video guide series for GMs. I've only been doing that for a year, but I would love to go and talk Mad Max one of these days. In fact, like anything out there is really on the table, save for anything pornographic, because I do not want to get kicked off YouTube. I don't go through all this trouble and just get yeeted off this site. You know what I mean? Okay, I think you do. But yeah, I would love to do Mad Max. I could spend hours talking about the things I would love to cover, because there's so much out there that would just be fun to dig into. And frankly, my favorite type of combat encounters are typically the Mad Max Fury Road setup. I love fights on top of moving vehicles, because it's a chase scene with a fight. It's awesome. It's exciting. Hey, Warrior Cats! Hi! Been seeing you coming around a lot more lately. Welcome. Yeah, no worry. You're just in time. I'm in a rambly mood today, so we've just started. Samurai Pizza Cat. Okay. Yeah. So, to catch you up, Warrior. Anyone else who's maybe just popped in? Right now, we've for our power-inspired character. In this case, we're calling Torque for now. We chose a Tiefling from Avernus for a nice little charisma strength boost, as well as a chance for a Searing Smite. We're also going to go with Warlock. We're just about to choose some of the proficiencies here. Already we've got some good choices off the bat that kind of come with the class, like simple weapons and light armor, which would be perfect to allowing you to use a lot of the same weapons that Power does, which is basically hammers, axes, knives, occasionally spears. You have so many nicknames for me. No worries, he's been talking for 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm caffeinated. I'm operating on 3 hours of sleep and a quarter of a mug. But hopefully by now you guys at least enjoy a little bit of my rambly rambles. Anyway, skill proficiencies. Now, I thought about this during the week when I first announced this stream. And frankly, you have to, in my opinion, choose nature as one of the options, because the number of ways that Power is able to go up to casually some animals and just and you don't even see how, but slaughter them up front is crazy impressive. Not only that, she basically becomes best friends with a cat, which, yes, I know can often be kind of like the spawn of the devil, but setting aside, I mean, most cats aren't, evil incarnate, able to go and tame one so easily is really impressive. I put all my skill points in trivia and nicknames. I didn't have any left for geometry or physics. I feel that I put all my skill points into improv and confidence, really. The whole, sometimes you can tell that I was basically raised in the theater. Gosh, I think I was doing dinner shows as early as 3. That was fun. Some of my first memories were being a background character in a murder mystery. Anyway. Deception, I guess, would be a decent second option. Maybe intimidation, but Power doesn't really terrify anyone. She tries. She tries tough. She has a major ego, but she doesn't really, pull it off much. Maybe because she's around people who really just are indifferent to her. I think, honestly, the best second choice here would probably be, in my opinion, and you at home can correct me otherwise, Deception, I think, would be a decent second option, for no other reason because of how, a bit of a spoiler for the first season, only the first season, how she's able to fool certain characters. Granted, said character is an idiot, but she still managed to fool them in the end. So, yeah. Okay. Well, don't worry. We'll be here for a little bit, so if you disconnect, come on back when you can. We'll wait. We're patient. At least I am. Okay. Spells. First level, the first level spells of your choice from the Warlock spell list. Okay, we'll get to those later. Spells known from the first level and higher. Choose your otherworldly patron. Okay, this is a big one. I think I don't have the chain option here. The Fiend or the Hexblade? I mean, she is a Fiend. I'm curious what the Fiend offers, just for curiosity's sake. I may power the Fiend from the lower planes of existence, a being whose aims are evil. Even if you strive against those aims, such as beings the corruption and direction, okay. Spell list. Turn the spell list and spell. Okay, so you get stuff like Burning Hands, Command, and Blindness, Scorching Ray. Okay, a lot of fire abilities, which, cool. But for those who haven't looked at it, the Hexblade subclass, or Patron, which comes from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, a fantastic secondary book that you should grab sooner or later if you ever get into this game. But Hexblades, though, they get things more related to more weapons. They're more like up close and personal kind of fighters. They are tied with the Raven Queens. They're more beholden to a master that's in charge of the Shadowfell, which is basically D&D's like catch-all term for like a dark version of the material plane of the real world. Basically, it's, you know, if you took like the normal plane you're on, or just your reality or dimension, and basically then jump to another dimension where like everything was evil, like we're in the dark timeline. That's what the Shadowfell is. The opposite side, the good timeline, is the Feywild. It's basically fairyland. Ugh, hate fairies. Scare the crap out of me. But but here's a big thing. I think that's be kind of handy when it comes to when it really how to say this. When Hexblades do have a lot of like innate features that really encourage attacking with weapons. Now, this is where you kind of need to be ready to talk to your DM about how to flavor this, because I could see some DMs being okay with saying, hey, yes, you can totally control your blood, but only your blood. And can always work around later how limits and thereof, but it'd be just for flavor. So I can totally see you being like, yeah, I pull out my sword from my veins and what have you. But where you lose in terms of like abilities or spells that can like encourage that those actions, in exchange you get a lot of spells and features that can beef up using those weapons. You're going to the Shadowfell. No. Yeah. So for instance, like the first level alone, you get Hexblade's Curse and Hex Warrior. Now, Hexblade's Curse is basically you go and like target someone to do like bonus damage on them. Now, if you know any kind of lingo for D&D from watching like Critical Role or things like that, Hexblade's Curse is basically the Warlock's version of a Hunter's Mark. So every time you do attack the creature of your curse, you get bonus damage on them, which playing a devil from the Chainsaw Man universe will be very advantageous, seeing how many of them can like do like secondary effects on people. Just like basically we're warping space and time. It's terrifying. I love it. Well, let's see. You also get Hex Warrior. Basically, you gain the proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. Influence of your patron allows you to mystically channel your will through a particular weapon. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch one weapon that you are proficient with, and you'll love this. That unlocks the two-handed property. When you attack with a weapon, you can use Charisma modifier instead of Strength or Dexterity for the attack and damage rolls. Basically, your charisma, your like kind of a connection to your patron beefs up your weapon, and with power being such a big boaster, oh my dear God, this is that's what you need for a power build. Haven't watched Chainsaw Man? Can someone summarize it? Certainly, Warrior Cats. I've done this already a few times, but it's worth repeating. Chainsaw Man is basically a dark fantasy anime about a guy by the name of Denji who, after having like the worst day of his life, survives it being killed and gains the powers of the Chainsaw Devil. Now, quick note on devils in this world: basically, devils exist in the human world, and the more feared they are, the more powerful they become. So let's say someone who might fear spiders, or like a spider devil, would be pretty damn powerful, because a lot of people are afraid of spiders, but probably not as powerful as, well, a gun. Like the gun devil is crazy powerful. So Chainsaw, is a unique case. We won't go into too many details here, but the important thing to know is that Power, who is this lovely lady right here, is the blood devil. But more exactly, she is a fiend. Now, unlike the fiends of the D&D universe, which are like a type of devil, like there's another kind of brand of devil, fiends are basically the term they use for devils that have possessed a human body. Now, I made the point earlier of saying that these bodies were dead, like there's no one in there prior. They're not like, are taking over someone's and making a puppet out of them. No, the original owner has vacated the premises and they just kind of like went in, and that's what Power is. She starts off kind of a lone wolf, a wild gun, gets wrapped into a government agency that hunts devils, basically to help something she really cares about, and also so they don't kill her. So, but over time, she gains friends and starts to kind of like go from like very chaotic neutral to more chaotic good, which is why I think it's worth, talking about her as a possible character. And that's a quick rundown of what they are. That's a good point, yeah. Fiends are very similar actually to Deadites, just not so scabby. The big thing you should know that is... trying to make sure I choose my words carefully because I don't want to spoil anything for those who may be watching this later on. And there's the random sound in the middle of the night devil. Yeah. I bet you there are so many like straight up goofy fears in there. Like I want to be the duck devil, honestly, because there's a fear of ducks. But I'm getting sidetracked again. But the big thing you should know is that Power, personality-wise, is very much like a cat compared to the dog that is the dog-like character of Denji, the main character, who is also the chainsaw man. Now, I don't want to go into too many details here because it doesn't pertain to her. There is a difference between what Chainsaw Man is and what Power is, but we'll do that later. Just for now, know that Power is a devil in a human meat suit helping to save modern-day Japan from rampaging devils. She has an ego larger than the sun and no sense of human tact or manners. She's actually a very nasty house guest. And in many ways, she is very much like a... Come to me. A Hexblade, Warlock. Because she does go and use a lot of her abilities, which she is able to control blood to go and attack her foes with. Now, there's one thing I realized earlier I wanted to bring up that's be kind of cool. Is that I want to say Hexblades do get this power eventually, but at some point they do get to go and like have the ability to like pocket things into kind of like, I don't say like a pocket dimension, but basically you can go do what Power does, because all her weapons are basically her using her own blood to form tangible, heavy objects, kind of like, Bayonetta with her hair, but in this case, Power's blood. Taxes devil. God, yeah, Ray, you're giving it. You stop making my stream so spooky. Let's see. What level do you get it at? Okay. But yeah, Hex Warriors do get proficiency with weapons, which is nice. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much more here, Hex Warrior. But yeah, but having the ability to essentially put down bonus damage on with Hexblade's Curse is really nice, and Hex Warrior would just get proficiency with your weapons is amazing. Moving on. Alright. I'm going to go with Standard Array, which, just for sake of time, though I've always been a fan of rolling 4 dice and dropping 1 to get your stats. But this gives us at least a nice spread to go with. Now, intelligence-wise, I mentioned this earlier. Power is not smart. No, 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 no. So we'll put that at 8. Nor, I mean, if anything, she's probably more wise than smart. Actually, I'll play that around. She's probably not so wise taking on social cues. Probably she is able to go and fool someone, so I'll give her a little bit of intelligence there. Okay. He was in a duck cult. Okay. All right. This is okay for charisma. I mean, power is the biggest booster around. So she'll a power-based character will need more charisma. So let's go and give that nice hearty charisma boost there. This is gonna be a nice tough one of where they are from here. Honestly, power as a character or as a fiend is able to heal from most wounds just by drinking blood, because that's her devil properties. So I think having a high constitution would be really perfect for her. She, but here's a tough one. Is she more strong or dexterous? Honestly, considering the size of some of her weapons, I'd probably put strength at 13 and dexterity at 12. She's fast, but not nearly as fast with some of the weapons she has. Yeah, I like that spread. Let's go with that. Sounds like a quack. Ah! Puns. All right. Back round. I forget how many of these I have. Honestly, Urchin probably be described power best, because good lord, I mean she does have stealth. Actually, would kind of make sense with her, with a little bit more of the cat side of things. Also, kind of help balance out a little bit of give a little bit of the dex use in there. But it's all really for flavor though. Which for the Urchin? Nah. Let's see, Outlander maybe. Try to look at that. What's the benefits with Outlander? Yeah, athletics and survival. I like that. When we first meet Power, once we meet her like already integrated into human society. But when she first became a fiend, she was basically living out in the woods with nothing but her powers and a cat. No clothes, nothing. So Outlander would probably be the hunted one. Hunted could work too. I'm between Outlander and hunted. Haunted one. I think that's one they're kind of like terrified, heart of darkness. Yeah, no, that's one who's like been scarred by something haunting. Kind of like Outlander more in terms of what the bonuses are there, because you get like athletic survival. To me, seems really kind of perfect. Let's see, tool proficiencies. She gets an instrument. Honestly, if Power could play an instrument, it would be something that would be extremely noisy and extremely aggravating. So between bagpipes or drums, I think bagpipes are way too sophisticated for a character like Power. So I'm going to go with drums. She'd be banging her pans in the background. Language proficiencies. She already does have Infernal, but also give Torque here Abyssal to kind of fit the whole theme. Origin. Trapper, Homestar, Gun, Excel, Outcast, yep. Definitely Outcast. Excellent memory for maps and geography. What do you call it? The general layout of terrain, elements. Okay. Let's go with personality traits. Okay, this will be kind of fun. I was, in fact, raised by wolves. Yep, that's probably as close as you can get to Power there. Granted, you don't have to go with these. These are just suggestions. I fare far more comfortable around animals than people. Yep, that's definitely Power. Ideal. Greater good, change, nature. Yep. Strongest are meant to rule. Yep. I can see her. If these can change over time. An instrument of death, like a gun. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like Power is not really out to really gain anything, But if you're going to play a character called Power, or in this case, we're playing a character called Torque, calling them Might is pretty damn heckin' perfect. Bond. My family can't reach out. Nope. Nope. Honestly, oddly enough, because despite the fact that Power, the character, is such a, at first, selfish character, Denji, the main character, wins her over by actually caring and helping out, finding and saving her cat. Granted, for various other reasons, but still, the best way to a character like Power's heart is through their loved ones, kind of like, build, or at least any part of their extended family. So, yeah, family would be their bond, their flaw. Remember, for caution of life, live to the fullest. Yeah. Yep. Violence is my answer to almost any challenge. My God. Oh, Power is an Outlander. I agree. And King, the more I look at some of these stuff here, the more it's scary how perfect a character like Power would be in the world of D&D. I came with me holding on. I have another tabletop RPG we could talk about after this, but I'm not sure if I should because Chainsaw's actually really perfect for D&D, which is surprising to say considering its modern setting. How would you like to choose equipment, class? I don't know anyone in their right minds to go out of the way to do starting wealth. It's just way too much busy work. All right. Let's see. Power really loves her giant ass hammers. So probably light hammer. Does love axes too. True. Component couch, arcane pouch. Probably an arcane focus and just be like, yep, straight up my blood. Because we're basing a character off a blood devil. So, of course, you have to kind of go with the same kind of thing. Maybe if it can't be your blood, maybe go with a vial of blood or something like that. I don't know. Scholars pack or Dungeoneers pack? Probably Dungeoneers. Another simple weapon. We got the hammer. Probably go with an axe or something. Maybe a knife. She does have a knife once in a while. Sickle. She does use a spear as well. Let's go with a dagger, because it's like the idea of a hexblade running up and just stabbing someone in the back. Just to me sounds fun. All right, spell time. All right, so let's go with and choose 2 strike right off the bat because that's clearly the best one. No, it's not. All right. Okay, in all seriousness, though they wouldn't probably cast something like this, I can't see a warlock not have this in their repertoire, and that's Eldritch Blast. Because, yeah, that is not giving a warlock Eldritch Blast is not allowing bards to have, I don't know, Bigsby's Hand or just Bardic Inspiration. Granted, they come with that no matter what, but still, you get the point. And you can always, theme the Eldritch Blast to be yes, I think it says in there, beam of crackling energy strikes towards a creature within range. Well, you can always say the energy forms in the shape of a weapon. Don't let the spell's description stop you to find some ways to flavor it. You still have, you can't change the effects, but you can always change the flash, if that makes sense. That's what I always do. Okay, let's see here. Linear, Mage Hand, Magic Stone, Mind Silver, Mind Illusion. What is Sword Burst? That's a new one for me. Okay, you're going to special blaze, I sweep around you, all other creatures in. Momentary circle of spectral blades. So basically, kind of some. Yeah, okay. I think I might have. I've had players use Sword Burst before. That'd be kind of fun. someone blades around you. That, I mean, Power does do that quite often. She sets traps for her enemies. Yeah, these days I have to try to look into the other editions. Haven't seen much, honestly. And now let's go with Sword Burst. I like the sound of that. All right, Hexblade 1. Now this is where a lot of stuff can be really fun. Let's see. I should point out that some of these you already do have automatically, no matter what. Like Tieflings do come with Hellish Rebuke, which is handy dandy. Arms of Hadar would also be really match the trap setting that Power does in the anime. Where in this case, Arms of Hadar, which I could best described as you opening up a portal to some Heldrick nightmare that comes and beats the crud out of those around you. Because let's see here. Evoke the power of Hadar, the dark hunger. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from you and batter all enemies within 10 feet of you. So, granted, once again, get permission from the DM, but you could totally be like, yeah, I cast Arms of Hadar. I go and just focus for a hot second as like a wave of blood bursts out of me and just starts slapping people left and right with clubs. Like, I hope with the Wizards of the Coast wanted to go and update the rules, they do add a bit more flavoring tips. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm really curious about 4E. Look at that. I'll have to look into that later. Arms of Hadar. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, hello, Tifa. Tifa's my dog. She's still in her cone. Power is a blood version of a Green Lantern. Oh my dear God, N-King. I have never heard a better, like, basically a basic explanation to what Power is. That is, yeah, Power is basically a blood version of a Green Lantern, but without all the willpower or any sense of justice. It's be more of a, was it a orange lantern? I think that's the one for greed. Okay, Arms of Hadar. We need one more here, folks. One more. Here, I'm gonna give you all a bit of a closer look. This is what I have to choose from. Let's see. Witch Bolt could be fun. I always love that. Honestly, Expeditious Retreat would be kind of perfect considering how Power does actually straight up go and one of her main strategies is to run away. Like, she is not opposed to getting the crap out of dodge when she cannot beat something. Eldritch Blast. I heard a gun. Yeah, I guess Eldritch Blast is very much is like using a gun sometimes. I cast a spell and then if I want to action it 2 turns. Yeah. Expeditious Retreat would be extremely handy when just trying to get around the battlefield and bonking and blasting things left and right. So yeah. Which would make up for the fact that the dexterity I gave them isn't, you know, the best. I think my dog needs to go out. All right. That's fine. I'll be here much longer. Okay. Let's see. Character name. Age. Technically 1 if we're going to base this off of Power. Because the birth is when they became a fiend. No, that's probably much older than that. Age. Questionable. Height. Power is kind of short. It's going to make ours short. Weight. Dense. Yeah, I mean, Power seems to have a lot of oomph to her. Eyes. Yellow. All fiends seem to have, or at least devils have, like, yellow eyes in the anime. Hair? Let's go with coral. Take inspiration from you, dear Power. Boop. And skin. Let's go with classic red. Acknowledge our lovely, lovely blood devil origins here. And then, boop. Then apply changes, and we have a character. Woo! Okay. Oh, let's take a look at this here, folks. Okay. Hit points at 10. Okay, makes sense. It's low level. But let's see. How does it roll? How do they roll? So let's go. And let's just do a quick Eldritch Blast here. And I got a nat 20. Nice, nice. And the damage. Oh, that's right. Voltaire's been doing this a lot lately where they haven't been, like, showing you the entire chat box. There we go. All right, 15 damage. That's not bad. That's not bad. Arms of Hadar. DC 13, 8. And yeah, this is like all the enemies inside of it. Yeah, that's just golden. It's great. Love that. Let's see. Let's read here. Tim curious now. Athletics 4. Deception is 5. Okay. Medicine is -1. It's a -1. Survival 1. I mean, and clearly this will change going forward, but still, I just love just how low some of these are. Wisdom is 1. Wisdom is -1. Oh dear. Oh dear me, oh me. Yes, true. Like, she's just covered in blood, End King. I like that. Charisma is 5. I like that. God. Deception. Just going, like, lie through her teeth the entire time. That's nice. Cool. Cool. Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, yes, their medicine is -1, but it's kind of cool thing about any kind of D&D character, much like the original anime character of Power, that as they grow, they can go and develop other things. They can multi-class, because they eventually do have power. Not really a spoiler. She does help other people by stopping them from bleeding out. It's a simple, thing, but it is still something. And over time, they slowly become more of like a helping team player, which is awesome. But the other game I wanted to suggest that, because this is actually a very, very good sheet. I actually would be totally down to play something like this with my torque. But let's say you and your buddies didn't want to do D&D, which is now in hindsight kind of a shame considering how well Chainsaw Man works in a D&D setting. But let's say you can't go that route. What do you do now? What do your best friends suggest you go with? Well, one game I was going to bring up, I haven't brought this one up in a while, is a game called Masks: A New Generation. Now, this game is best described, in my opinion, a lot like Teen Titans or My Hero Academia, tabletop RPG, where you play a set of heroes that are the new generation to a greater series of legacy heroes. But what I like about it is that it's really about developing less like your power sets and more so about developing yourself, your personality, where you are with your team and all that, which to me is very in line with a lot of what Chainsaw Man's characters are, where when you in a world where you could die right away, you don't really get that power boost too often. It's all about how you grow internally, how you grow as a hero, as just a friend, a brother, a sister, and you kind of get a lot of that kind of role play boosts in the Masks: A New Generation. When it comes to building characters in other games outside of D&D, we really can't have those lovely abilities to kind of back up what the character does on screen. That's where we kind of need to focus on these kind of internal moments to really bring them out, flesh them out, and eventually find yourself grow in ways that you wouldn't expect with them. Like, for instance, my first experience with Masks was I played a character that I based off of basically the Ninja Turtles. And I wrote it up that, okay, yeah, they were called the Falcon. And they were like a mutated falcon, but they were raised by a scientist that was really big into like old Humphrey Bogart mysteries. And I was planning to play them as like a dark, brooding character. Like it was like my way of like joking about all the edgelord characters. And it quickly developed into me becoming like, yes, the bruiser, but like the comedic relief bruiser. It was interesting. It was fun. Let's see here. Obviously, people, hey, Ness here. Welcome. Heard of Mass before. Don't really think much of it. Yeah, that's okay. It's not really a game for everyone. Its rolling mechanics are just based on 2d6s, which is hit or miss for some people. It's very, very different compared to the more combat tactic heaviness of D&D. Another actually game I'd recommend that could be good for trying to emulate Chainsaw Man. I brought it up before, but it's a game called The Zone. It's inspired by like creepypasta SCP stories, but The Zone is all about you and a group of other explorers get sent to go and explore this cordoned off, very supernaturally area to go discover what's at the center of it. So a good way to look at it is that, okay, like the back rooms, if you know what those are, it's very much the same thing. And it's a game that you can play in one session. It's a 2 to 3 hours, zero prep, and it's a joint storytelling experience where, to me, it reminds you a lot of like some of the moments in the anime. Like a good analogy to it here, let me show you what it looks like. Is that a good analogy to The Zone is that it's a lot like the episode in the arc in Chainsaw Man where they go to the Infinity Hotel, like that kind of like descent into madness kind of like build up, and how the characters, you know, slowly go mad or mutate inside this other realm. That's the kind of shit you can see happen in The Zone. I'm hoping in the very near future to do a live playthrough with my friends doing this, because I think you would like it. But until then, just trust me. Give it a look. Give it a look. Try it out. It's a fun game, and I will probably at some point be ordering a physical edition so I can go and show it off on stream sooner or later. But no, very cool game. Very, very sweet, cool, freaking cool game. But regardless of whatever kind of like system you go with, the big thing I would really suggest, and this kind of ties back into my creature creator video I did on Batman last year, is that whenever you're playing a character with a very strong personality, we're talking not just like a brooding masked vigilante like the Bat, but when you're playing a character like Power, who has a very, at times, kind of like one-sided kind of tropey nature, is that keeps them, for people who play those kind of characters, what keeps them from being cringy is not the fact they're playing the kind of character. It's the unwillingness to change, to grow. And there are so many ways when you're in an environment with other people telling a story together that your character can grow and change. And what will really bring your original OC Do Not Steal into one that's an individual, a hero that you and your friends really can admire, is when you embrace that. You embrace the crazy strides, you embrace the random chance of the dice, and let and just see where things go. See where your power takes you. I think that's about everything I wanted to say, at least in regards to power here. If anyone in chat wants to really, throw any questions towards me or suggestions, that'll be the time to do it. In the meantime, I'm just going to bring up a few things about next week. Announcement 1. I'm looking to maybe do one last Let's Play of FNAF. We got through the main game last Tuesday, which was a lot of fun. We just have to go through and do the custom night stuff, and hopefully that will wrap up the B-roll I need to go do. But 2, next week, I am going to be actually doing a second haunted hangout where me and my friends are going to be playing a game. It's called Alice is Missing next week, Thursday. I think it's next week, Thursday. I'll double check the time. Might be on the 9th. I might do something else next week, Thursday. Because if we're not doing it next Thursday, I might be doing finally another playthrough, or I should say continuation of Hollow Knight, because I've not been able to stop thinking about this game since I played it last, and I really want to go and eventually cover Hornet in a future Warrior Workshops. I need to go and finally see more about them. But yes, but to get back to the other thing, with Alice is Missing, it's a game like The Zone where you can play it in one go. But what's cool about it is that it's a role-playing game where you and your friends are trying to figure out what happened to Alice, who just disappeared one day. But what's cool about it is that there is no talking. You play it entirely by texting one another like you would, across town. And you kind of like get around like motivations and all kinds of twists and turns as this whole mystery built up around you. Now, I will probably be talking to you all while actually playing this game, but I'm excited to try it out with you all. I'm hoping to see if you're there to kind of check it out with me, because ever since the Game Master Gauntlet last month, I've been like in a mood for just doing all kinds of crazy one-shots with different games, because it sounds fun. How do I feel after beating Sister Location? I'm still amped about that. Pretty good actually. I think my voice didn't actually calm down until like 3 or 4 hours after I finished streaming the other night. But I think what you also really would love though is that I actually ended up having nightmares that night. I woke up and had one of those moments where I was just like paranoid. I thought someone was in my apartment. Woke up my poor fiance checking all the closet doors and stuff like that. Yeah. I may be 30-something years old, but I still get scared with bumps in the night. Should watch out for that devil you were talking about earlier, Rag. Might be coming for me. Anyway, I should probably get going. My poor dog, just to show you what's been staring at me for like the last 20 minutes, has been staring holes at me, begging to go outside to use the bathroom. So I think this is where I am going to call it for tonight. But I do have to say thank you all for hanging out with me. This was fun. I probably will be doing a Denji, I would say, in 2 weeks. I want to build the Denji Barbarian. That sounds fun. Let's build a Chainsaw Barbarian. I'm psyched. Yes, paranoia keeps you alive. But until then, if you have not already, please consider liking, subscribing, or even commenting on this stream or any of my other videos. If you have suggestions on future things I may do, whether it is covering it on Warrior Workshop or Creature Creator or playing at a haunted hangout, please give me ideas. I want to go and experience stuff with you guys. If you want to help support me, I do have a Patreon right now. And if you don't want to do that, I totally get it. I am still kind of low on the tout of the hierarchy of YouTube stuff. But that's fine. That's fine. See with anything, I have going on right now. And the stuff I asked. You don't feel like, liking, subscribing, commenting. I totally get it. It's fine. It's you do you. It's great. Just know, despite all that I still think that you are awesome, and I love you either way. Denji. Yep. But in the meantime, you all have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Tuesday for part 3 of Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. I will looking forward to finishing the script. It's looking great right now for the Creature Creator video. And yeah, I'm going to go and take my dog outside to go use the toilet devil. I'm not ending on that. I'm not ending on that. No. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Love you all.